Hello and welcome to this lesson, part 4 of our lessons on grammatical names. We would be looking at adverbial clause, particularly the types and functions of the adverbial clauses. In one of our previous lessons, we talked about the clauses as being the units of words that have subjects and predicate arrangements, subject-verb arrangements. This is one of the elements in that group that we are going to look at today in the form of the adverbial clause. The adverbial clause is a subordinate clause. We say it is subordinate because it cannot stand on its own to make a complete sense. It needs to exist with another main clause in a sentence before its meaning can be fully established and before it can be very useful. Being an adverbial element means that when it stands in the sentence, it obviously has to modify a verb in the sentence that it occurs. We have to quickly mention also that the adverbial clause does not have a particular position when it is used in a sentence because it can occur at the beginning, it can occur at the end, it can even occur in the middle of the sentence depending on how good the writer is in manipulating the parts of the sentence. So this is where our task will fall on today, types of the adverbial clauses, because the adverbial clauses has some forms depending on the function it performs. And that will be it for this video. Let's dive in straight away. We look at some examples first on the screen. When he arrived home. When is a subordinating conjunction there. He is a pronoun, arrived is a verb, home is a noun. So he arrived, that's a subject-verb arrangement in that group to give us a clause as we talked about earlier. Since they had no other option, since is a conjunction, a subordinate one. They is a pronoun, had is a verb, so we have they and had in the group to form clause. Although she was brilliant. Although is a conjunction here also. She is a pronoun, was is a verb. Again, a clause is established. Now, it is very important we mention here that clauses or phrases would not take functions and would not have particular classifications until they are used in sentences. This is because grammar is basically about the functions that words and groups of words perform in sentences. We look at the types. We start with the first type, which is the adverbial clause of time. Since the adverbial clause pays attention to the action in a sentence, the adverbial clause would say more about the time of action, the time that the action occurred. So it doesn't matter what other element we have in the sentence. As far as the adverbial clause is concerned, the focus is what time. Time in this case does not refer to the clock that we use. Rather, it pays attention to every duration, every period that was involved in the action. So, just like the example gives us, the boat left before we arrived. The action there was left. When was that? Before we arrived. So, the adverbial clause of time answers the question when. The second type that we'll look at in this lesson is the adverbial clause of place. Place deals with the particular point or the environment where the action occurred, the action of the sentence. Obviously, When we talk about place, the question that leads us to place is where. So if we have that going in this example, we would have the man lay where he fell. So where he fell is the adverbial clause of place here, modifying the verb lay. The third type we'll look at will be the adverbial clause of reason. Reason focuses on why an action occurred, the cause of that action, and so it answers the question why. When this clause occurs, it creates the reason for an action that is stated in the sentence. So the boy left. Why did the boy leave? Because he felt insulted. So because he felt insulted in this sentence is an adverbial clause modifying the verb left. Another type of adverbial clause we'll look at will be adverbial clause of manner. Manner looks at how an action occurred. It answers the question how. So if we pay attention to that, using that in the example, we have the boy sang. How did the boy sing? As if he wrote the song. The fifth type of the adverbial clause is that of condition. Condition focuses on requirements to be met before an action would take place, or a particular requirement, a particular thing that must happen before another action takes place, as given in the sentence. So it answers the question on what condition. Example given on the screen says, if I do get a sponsor, I will join the expedition. Under what condition would I join the expedition? If I do get a sponsor. So if I do get a sponsor, it's an adverbial clause of condition here, modifying the verb will join. The sixth type we'll look at will be the adverbial clause of concession. Concession occurs when a situation yields an outcome that is naturally not expected. So if we put it this way, someone that has no money should not be able to afford a gift. So if you make a statement as given in the example, although he had no money, he bought me a gift, you would notice that bought the gift does not match had no money. Therefore, the questions that adverbials of concession focus on will be although what, despite what, in spite of what. As the example suggests again, although he had no money, he bought me a gift. He bought me a gift despite what? Although what? Although he had no money. So this is an adverbial clause of concession modifying the verb bought. Thank you for watching this video. Click the subscribe button if you've not done so. If you touch the bell button, you would get notified each time a new lesson is uploaded. You can reach me using any of the contacts displayed on the screen.